Okay, let's try again. Hey you guys, so I'm back with another video and gosh you guys, I feel like I suck at doing this, but I'm just gonna stick around because I really want to put these videos out there. Like I said before, if it's to just help one person, then it's all worth it. Okay, so today I want to talk a little bit about the cost of living in Mexico, and of course I'm gonna generalize and I'm just gonna speak on my experience and in the area that I live in. I can't speak for the rest of Mexico, and I can just tell you guys about how it's been for me and what I see where I live right now. Ok, bueno, pues antes de empezar el video, sí quisiera dar una pequeña explicación del por qué hago estos videos en inglés. Una persona me comentaba aquí en la sección de los comentarios de que si yo hablo español. Sí hablo español, pero hago estos videos dirigidos hacia una comunidad de deportados, y a través de los años me he dado cuenta, cuando me ha tocado ayudar a esta comunidad, es de que muchos esposos y esposas pues hablan puro inglés, son completamente americanos. Entonces pues me acostumbré a dar o pensé que era mejor dar la información en inglés, ¿verdad? Para que los dos lo pudieran entender. Pero pues sí estaría haciendo videos en español. Si eso es lo que me piden, más videos en español, sí los haría. Pero por mientras sí estaré haciéndolos en inglés. So I just wanted to say that real quick. I also wanted to mention, somebody in the comments said something about, I try to read them all, but since it doesn't really notify you, you have to go in there and like search and like count your comments to see if you're answering them all. So I try to keep up, but one of the comments that I seen was that asking if you needed an ID to work and to rent a home down here. Yes, I could make a whole video on what exactly, well, I'm not going to say what exactly you need to do when you get here, but things that I would suggest that you do when you get here. And one of them is exactly that. Get all the paperwork that you need to get in order as soon as you get here. Tu credencial de lector, que sería tu ID aquí mexicano, your CURP, que sería un tipo de número en el que te va a servir para todo, es tu clave única, la que te representa aquí. Yo diría que es como el seguro social de Estados Unidos, because it just that's your number, you know. And it starts with your initials, and then it has like your birth date and like a few other letters and stuff. But la curva es bien importante, and of course your birth certificate. And this can be a problem for a lot of people that I've known that get deported, that have no one here. They don't even have their birth certificate. It's just a lot that you have to get done when you get here. But anyways, yes, you do need your ID for everything down here. I would suggest that you get that ASAP. Bueno, pues entonces ya entrando al video, today I'm doing the cost of living in Mexico, and it can vary a lot, a whole lot, depending on where you live. But I'm just going to speak from the northern part of Mexico, a border with Texas. So this is another thing, you guys. Just because all of us that do border life, not all border prices are the same on rent, on food, on utilities and all that. It's different. For example, I would say that border cities with Texas are a little cheaper when it comes to rent than you would maybe border cities with California. Someone told me recently that they pay their rent in dollars on the Mexican side, and that's something that we don't do in the little cities that you have across Texas. So I'm not sure about all the other border towns, but here at least it's not a thing to pay your rent in dollars. We usually pay in pesos. If I had to guess on the estimate or on the average price of rent here, it would be anywhere from maybe 2,500 to 3,000, 3,500 pesos a month for an average 2-bedroom, like 1-bath home. And a lot depends on where you live. You can, of course, find something cheaper for 1 bedroom, or something a little more expensive, but that would have included your light, your water, your everything. Because you got to remember, these Mexican homes are built different, and so many times we get here and we really don't know what to expect, what they come with. And I want to explain all that in a little bit. But yes, rent, I would say if you, I know people in my town right now that are paying 5,000 pesos a month, but that would be like with everything included, like AC and like heater and boiler and just the very basic needs that you would need. In dollars, that would be, pues saben que está bajando bastante el dólar, entonces antes estaba 20 pesos el dólar aquí donde yo vivo. Entonces, si estabas pagando 5,000 pesos, if you were paying 5,000 pesos a month, and that would be what, $250 in dollars a month for everything. So that's pretty cheap, especially if you work across, like if the wife or the husband works across on the American side, then yeah, you can definitely afford and live pretty comfortably here. I would say that the least that anybody would pay for like maybe a one bedroom apartment around where I live would be like 1,500 pesos al mes, like 1,500 pesos a month. Anywhere from 1,500 pesos to, I don't know, 5,000 pesos or 6,000 pesos. It really just depends on how much you want. But if you're trying to come down here and survive and just be like, just give me somewhere to be, aim for something cheap like that. Now there are gonna be places that are gonna not want kids, that are not gonna want dogs, and just ask all these things before you move in, and try to avoid, something that could, pop up later on. And then also, you guys, there's most of these places when you rent out a home, or an apartment, or casita de Infonavit, lo que sea que encuentres de renta, si te van a pedir, they're gonna ask for a deposit and then your monthly rent. I don't know if they're gonna ask for like 2 months ahead, but it really just all depends on who's renting it out. So really, like I said, do your research before you move. You guys, I think esa es la ventaja de que en estos tiempos en verdad podemos investigar lo que sea. All you gotta do is just Google something, get in Marketplace, and for real, you guys. Generalmente, usually whenever I would talk to people that were planning on moving down here, they would get in these groups and really kind of just ask around. And people usually look for like bigger cities, Monterrey, Ciudad de Mexico, no sé, wherever it is that you're planning on moving, just get in there and busca, and yeah, just see what you can find. Okay, so the next thing is what to expect when you live in a Mexican home. We all know that it's really different, of course. Houses here are built different, son de material de concreto, entonces tienden a ser más frías durante el invierno y más calientes durante el verano. Hay casas que sí son hechas en algunas partes de México que son creo que se llama adobe, entonces esas sí son más calientitas y más frescas, y esas sí como que fueron construidas para aguantar un poquito más los climas, ¿verdad? Pero generalmente the majority of homes down here are not. They're just made out of concrete. So it's built different, and you do have to prepare to buy units that can keep you warm or that can keep you cold, depending on the weather. And it is going to cost you a little bit. I would say that if you are looking into renting, that's one of the things that you need to look into. It's heating and cooling system, because it doesn't, most of the homes don't come with any type of central system, heating or cooling system. So you're gonna have to bring electric heaters, or you're gonna have to buy mini split units. Se llaman unidades de mini split. But you do have to pay to get it installed. These units cost around, I'm not sure the price, I'm gonna look it up and put it right here. You can also use like window ACs, but you're gonna have to, and then try to see how you can just make that work. But people down here where I live, at least, we use a lot of window like AC units, and then we use the mini split. So whatever it is that you're trying to bring down, or you can buy down here, I'm going to try to find the prices so you can get ready for that. So, okay, so something else that you have to consider is that these homes don't come with a boiler, so that you're not always going to have hot running water. You're going to have to, again, if you're going to rent out a place, make sure that you ask. And in case it doesn't come with a boiler, you're going to have to buy one. And again, I'm going to try to find the price and put it here. an estimate maybe at Home Depot or other places that you can get it, so you can be prepared, because this is not something that's gonna automatically come with the house. Something else that you're gonna have to consider is, a lot of the homes also, especially when you buy a home, these houses don't come with kitchen cabinets. They come with the very basic necessities of the home, and of course they don't come with any type of appliances. And this is when you buy a home, or this is when you rent a home. So you are gonna have to consider either buying down here, or even if it's like used, or bringing your stuff. If you're planning on bringing all your stuff, do consider bringing your very basic kitchen appliances, like your fridge, your estufa, your whatever it is, everything that you need. Do bring that. As far as dishwashers, they are not common at all. You're not gonna find a dishwasher in Mexico unless you are renting in a fancier side of town. Then yeah, you might have a house with a dishwasher, but usually we don't have that. So if you're if you're really into dishwashers and you're planning on staying and on, I mean, if you're gonna build your own home, yeah, heck yeah, you can go on and get you one. If that's gonna make you feel better. If that's your thing, if you use dishwashers, all power to you. You can definitely do that. But it's not, these houses are not gonna have one, so I guess that's my point. But yeah, man, look, y'all, real quick. So before I just go on to the very next one, when I remember when we first got this home, and I'm gonna try to find like las fotos así que no, cuando no tenía nada la casa. Ahorita pues obviamente ya le hemos construido, ya le hemos pues upgraded a lot. I remember when we got the keys, it literally they literally come with nothing, no closets. That's something else that you guys, for real, there's no closet space, and people down here usually use like roperos. Tú sabes de qué hablo, los roperos. Para mí en lo personal te quitan bastante espacio. I don't like roperos. I feel like there's just this little bitty, you know what I mean? Like I have a lot of clothes and shoes and stuff. So and then like kids, like you just need closet space. And I remember when we first got this house, it's like a regular bedroom, but it doesn't. Some of them do have like a tiny little space, but in my case, our rooms didn't have any. So I just went out there and I made them this open concept closet for both of the rooms. I went to Home Depot and I got me some little racks where I made my open concept closets, because the rest was just gonna take up a lot of space. And also, like, tienes el abonero ahí a cada rato, cada semana tocándote que pagues el ropero. You guys know what I'm talking about. If you lived in Mexico long enough, you know what this is like. And I hate that I don't like de verle al abonero, no me gusta. So I was just like, you know what? No, we're gonna go about just using like regular clothes racks, or como se digan, y las voy a poner ahí una repisa así. Pues así le hacemos, porque te ahorra mucho dinero y te ahorra mucho espacio. I think I paid like 700 pesos for each one, like for each closet. So I wasn't gonna pay like 3,000, 5,000 pesos por un ropero a la larga if I could just pay like way less than that. So you gotta improvise, you gotta use your smarts and see how you can save money while you're living comfortably, because si te dejas, pues la verdad si te gana el abonero. Okay, so my very last one would be buying a home. I'm gonna try to just give you like the basic details on buying a home down here. It's not as complicated as we think. There's actually this very good program. Es un instituto, creo que así se le llamaría, ¿verdad? Que le da el derecho a todos los mexicanos de tener vivienda. So down here, it's everybody in Mexico has, if you're a mexicano, un ciudadano mexicano, tienes acceso a la vivienda por medio de un crédito que te ofrece este instituto para poder comprar tu casa, but you have to be working your seguro social. And your Seguro Social is just what you get as a Mexican worker. Anywhere you work, you're supposed to get this benefit de Seguro Social. And Seguro Social works hand in hand with this instituto que se llama Infonavit, so you can have access to a home. They give you a credit, like the longer you work your seguro, and in cualquier empresa, whatever job that it is that you're doing, as long as you're working with them, the longer that you work with them, the more that you accumulate these points, this credit score, so you could buy this home. I think the minimum required time is like a year. So if you work at any type of empresa in Mexico que da Seguro Social, IMSS, so when you go and you apply for any job in Mexico, make sure that they give this prestación, ¿verdad? De hecho, no es una prestación, creo que es el derecho, es un derecho del mexicano, creo, de que todo mexicano debe tener Seguro Social. Entonces, when you go and you apply, usually one of the benefits that say on the thing, when one of the job benefits that they always mention is Seguro Social, prestaciones de ley, que vendría entrando el Seguro Social, Infonavit, ahorro y no sé qué tanto, todo lo que mencionan. Bueno, Infonavit es ese crédito. So if you steady work with them at least a year, then you can have enough points accumulated for you to buy a home. Like they'll give you this credit, and I think it's anywhere from like 200,000 pesos to probably more. Depending on who you work for is how many points you accumulate. Some jobs help you accumulate more, points for that credit score, and then some don't. I'm not exactly sure why or how that works, but I know that you can buy a home. Like if you write it out, if you wait a little bit with whoever it is that you're working with, you can definitely buy something. Usually these homes, when you buy a home with an Infonavit, en México, trabajando aquí, generalmente esperas de 2 a 4 a 5 años. ¿Por qué? Porque entre más puntos acumulas, pues mejor casa puedes adquirir en un mejor sector de la ciudad, ¿verdad? Porque a veces las casas de Infonavit están muy baratas, pero a veces están fuera de la ciudad. And you kind of want something that's going to be closer to maybe, the bigger stores, or even if it's a small town like this one, you want to be closer to to everything, right? To the hospitals and to just, you don't want to travel so far off, because a la larga pues es más gasolina, y te echas, si de por sí están bien feas las calles, pues te echas más los carros, ¿verdad? But usually everything that's, closer in is going to be a little pricier, but it's going to be a little more, it's going to be a little better, it's going to be a better side of town. But like I said, man, sometimes you just want to buy whatever. Sometimes you just want to stop renting. Sometimes you just want to get the hell out of where it is that you're living y agarras la primer casa de Infonavit que te den. Who cares? Y la vas pagando de aquí a, no sé, 30 años. Porque el crédito ese es así. Pasa el año, you're working, whoever it is that your employers, you're working for them, and then you go with Infonavit. Son oficinas de Infonavit. Que tú puedes igual buscar, Google it, wherever it is that you live. You should find an oficina or go to their website y infórmate aquí un poquito más, lee un poquito más, ¿verdad? Just in case I'm not making it clear enough. Like, just go in there and try to read on, what it's about, and if you have enough points. You can usually contact these people or just go up there and be like, hey, I've been working at this place for so long. Can you tell me how many points I've accumulated, or how I can go about constantly checking my points in your website? And then, they'll help you do that, and they'll let you know if you already have enough points to buy a home. Usually it's paycheck deductible, so you're going to be paying, 500 pesos a la semana o 1,000 pesos a la semana, dependiendo, ¿verdad? The monthly payments on the house is going to depend on your salary. So if you make a minimum wage, well, they're only going to deduct a little bit of money. Versus if you're making pues bastante dinero, pues te van a quitar más obviamente a la semana, ¿verdad? Hay casas muy chiquitas que te andan costando de 200,000 pesos de Infonavit, a casas mucho más caras que te andan costando como 1,000,000 o un poquito más, ¿verdad? También que son de Infonavit. Todos son fraccionamientos. That's what we call them. They're areas where it is not, they're lots with nothing but casas de Infonavit. So you're not going to find casas de terrenos ahí. Usually in Mexico, I would say that you divide, homes in like two. One would be fraccionamientos, que son las casas de Infonavit. And then we have terrenos where you can buy a lot and then build your home. Usually, the neighborhoods that are terrenos, you're gonna see like a really big constructed house, and then the next door house is gonna be like really small and like maybe not as much construction. And then the next one is gonna be they're all different. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? You guys know what I mean. When you go through the colonias, a veces si son terrenos, o por lo menos aquí, a veces las casas son muy variadas. Porque son terrenos, so people build according to their possibilities. Down here, people spend their whole lives building their homes. I can't, in the US, I'm sure it's different. You just go buy a home, right? Well, some people build their homes, but usually people just rent apartments or, little townhomes and stuff. But down here, it's different. Like people have to build from the ground up, or you have to get you a casa Infonavit. El problema con las casas Infonavit es que están bien chiquitas. Y pues es un terrenito y es una casita chiquita. Hay unas que están, como les decía, varía mucho. Hay unas que están pegadas con las otras. Hay otras que no, que están separadas de las otras, que tienen pasillos en un lado. Which is, thank God we got a house like that, because, I had a friend that used to tell me, girl, I don't want one of them homes, because where she lived in her city, the most of the casas de Infonavit that she knew about they were all together, and she's like, I don't want that. So like I said, it just depends on how much you want to pay for these homes. Like paying for a hallway is gonna cost you more, you know what I mean? But in the long run, I mean, you live a little bit more, pues más a gusto, ¿verdad? Versus if you wanna, now you guys, you know what though? Now with Obrador, con el presidente que está ahorita de México, López Obrador, he made it to where these points and like money that you're accumulating through working, Infonavit, we used to only be able to make your money worth by giving you a house, a built house. Well, it's not going to be like that anymore. Now they're going to give you your money cash. So for us back then, it was like, nah, you gotta work for for a year or two, and then we'll give you a built home, because your money is gonna be ya en una casita, la que tú quieras, pero ya va a estar en una casa hecha. Versus now, you can go up there and be like, Infonavit, yo no quiero una casa, yo quiero mi dinero, and I'm gonna buy a lot, and I'm gonna make my own casita. I mean, isn't that such a great thing? Yes, I think that's great, you guys. I think that he did a good thing when he gave us that option, because a lot of people don't want small homes, and with these, it's like you gotta build on top and you gotta make them 2 stories so you can have, para poder estar un poquito más a gusto. Que eso es en lo que estamos nosotros ahorita. You can really upgrade your house to however it is that you want. I will tell you guys later how I went about upgrading my house with just very little money, like the whole closet situation that I'm telling you all about. And man, you can make it work. You don't even need a lot of money. Even if you get a little casita Infonavit, make it like cozy, buy some lamps, buy some rugs, upgrade your kitchen to, if you like, something more American style, or if you want something really rústico mexicano, también lo puedes hacer. Hay cocinas hermosas rústicas aquí. Sal de tu zona de confort, pues just, you can do whatever you want to your casita, man. But, even if it's small, as long as there's love and harmony, and, God is providing every single day, just be happy there. That's one of the things that I learned here. A lot of times, of course, especially for people that just get here, they get used to having like a lot of space, or maybe even having a lot of furniture, and you're probably gonna have to get rid of a lot. But you're gonna get used to living with less, and maybe in smaller spaces. But I mean, después de un tiempo te das cuenta que ni te hacía falta. I mean, puedes vivir igual. Bueno, no sé, será que yo en ese sentido, I'm like, as long as, there's love and peace and, family, I don't care if it's like this huge home or a little home, as long as we're all cozy and Thank God that, gracias a Dios, man, I'm gonna tell you guys, for a long time, we didn't have hot running water for years. It was hard to, like, because, before we bought this home, I mean, like I was telling y'all, we struggled. And some of these homes, they don't have hot running water, or they don't have, like I said, heaters or ACs, or it's hard. But thank God, right now, we're a lot better. But for a long time, really long time, we didn't have these basic necessities. So I know what it's like to get here, and you might struggle, yes. A mí también me ha tocado batallar de no tener boiler. Yo también le he tenido que sufrir cuando hace bastante frío y no hay calentador, or when you gotta wash the dishes and no hot water. So I mean, you're freezing your hands out there. I've even lived in houses that didn't even have a kitchen at all. You had to completely improvise. So man, I can survive all of that now. I can give you tips on survival if that's what you want, but unless you ask for it, I'm not going there. But just try to make the best, man. Just try to make the best. Si traes dinero en efectivo aquí para comprar una casa, you can do that too. Now let's talk a little bit about that. Let's talk a little bit about um, buying a home ya hecha, right? That's not what the Infonavit. That's just a regular home that you see on real estate or something. You do need to be Mexican citizen. I've read some comments on certain, like, Facebook groups, or different videos, even here on YouTube, that where people say that they were scammed from buying homes here, because I don't know if these were like expats, or I'm not sure exactly why or how it happened, but some people were saying that they got cheated out of. They thought that they had bought a home, and they hadn't. Like they played them for some reason, and I think it's because they didn't have their dual citizenship. Pero pues si le estamos hablando a la comunidad deportada, ¿verdad? Y eres 100% mexicano, es algo de lo que no te tienes que preocupar. Tú ya la tienes hecha, tú ya tienes tus papeles mexicanos. Nada más asegúrate de agarrar tu credencial, tu acta de nacimiento y tu CURP, y con eso te debes de defender. I mean, for real. No, trata de no pedirle nada a nadie. Tú ten tus cosas siempre listas, because that's just the best way to get around here. Just take care of your own stuff. Don't use anybody else's name, or you borrow any. Just try to get your stuff done your way. Work your social, work your Afore, work your Infonavit. And yeah, man, get as soon as you can, like, really get all that get everything, try to get everything put on your name with your documents, and you're gonna be just fine. Nadie tiene por qué robarte nada si estás haciendo las cosas bien. Traten de averiguar bien antes de hacer una compra así tan grande como una casa, ¿verdad? Porque si hay gente que viene y ya trae mucho dinero y está lista para comprar, averigüen bien. Quisiera darte más información, no tengo más, but I can tell you that as long as you're Mexican, and you're doing a good clean deal, you should be fine. I don't know anything else about it, but if you are talking about buying a home like we did with Infonavit, then you can totally get that done. So before I end the video, let's talk a little bit on the cost of bills. Again, depending on where you live. But usually, you would, at least here, we pay our water bill once a month, and it's never more than 200 pesos. That would be like a little less than $10, 10 American dollars a month. And it's, average. Like there's only 3 of us here, but well, I'm sure if you have a bigger family, you're gonna spend more money than that. But regular, water use, that's how much we pay. We don't have a problem with water. I was talking to the wife of a deportee last week, and she was telling me that the place that they're living now, they have a water shortage. I don't know if it's because they cut it at a certain time of the day, or I'm not sure if they're not having access to like clean water. But there are some places in Mexico where people struggle with water. La Ciudad de Mexico es una de ellas, and I think bigger cities. So look into that. Try to ask around and see if the area where you're moving is gonna have a hard time with water. As far as here, we don't use pilas o piletas o no sé cómo más les llamen. No hay nada de eso aquí, simplemente, o sea, there's running water that you pay to Comapa or that you pay to Conagua, and that comes with the city. Here, it's like that. I'm not sure. In the States, I think, you know how different companies provide different like light services or like cable or phone or internet. We don't have a lot of variety on these things. So at least where I live, los que se encargan del agua es el municipio, la ciudad, no es una compañía externa. La luz es igual. Your light bill is there's only one provider of our light company is like nationwide. So there's only one provider, y esa es la Comisión Federal de Electricidad a nivel nacional. And yeah, again, that varies depending on how much light you use. I would say that if you're staying warm or if you're staying, cool, you're gonna spend a lot on light. There's just no way around it. I'm gonna say it like it is. Living in Mexico is expensive. If I have to, it all comes down to, yes, it is expensive. It's expensive to have your basic necessities. So how much is expensive? I don't know. Well, for example, us, we pay la luz, la pagamos cada 2 meses. Entonces, if you have your AC running all day, or if your boiler is de luz en lugar de gas, well, then that's something else that you're gonna have to consider, right? Because yeah, you're gonna spend more on light. In other words, I would say anywhere from igual de 2,500, 3,000 pesos every 2 months to maybe 6,000-7,000 pesos. I don't know. I mean, like I said, it depends on how big your light is. I mean, it depends on how big your house is and how much light you're using. But yes, light is expensive here, especially if you want to live comfortably. Yes. Now your gas, like people down here don't use electric stoves. Everybody, we all use estufas de gas butano o gas LP o gas natural, pero son de gas todos. So you're gonna have to get you a tank, like a gas tank, so you could have that hooked up to your stove. Or if maybe the house already comes with gas natural, then you are gonna get a recibo, like a bill every month, where you're gonna have to pay the company, the gas company. But if that's not the case and the house that you're living in doesn't have gas natural, entonces vas a usar gas butano. And you're gonna have to go buy you a little gas tank that you're gonna have to hook up to your stove, so you can be able to cook. That's another bill, of course, that you have to worry about a month. But with gas, not butano, it's not expensive at all. Like, I don't think it is. Es que también viene como que por litros, creo, algo así. Entonces, pues hay tanques chiquititos y hay tanques grandotes. Entonces, pues depende de cuánto más o menos quieras llenarlos. Creo que hay tanques que se llenan desde 200 pesos hasta 500 o 800 pesos si son tanques grandes. And, well, of course, the more money you put in them, the more it's going to last. But gas down here goes a long way. Now, if you're out in a ranchito, and I'm saying this because people out here really are, man, y'all think, nah, man, people out here really out there with like no stove or nothing. If you're out there, if you have, if you're struggling and you don't have a stove, cómprate una fogatita aunque sea, so you can use, aunque sea un tanquecito chiquito, con que tengas un tanquecito chiquito y tengas una creo que se llaman fogatas, una chiquita, pues con ese ya la haces, ¿verdad? Si vives en un lugar, if you live in a place where you don't have access too much, or if you really don't have money for a stove, you know what? Something that I've done before I even had money to buy a stove, because I was broke, you guys, when I was out here, like when I just got here and I was single and all that with my little baby and stuff. I got them en la cualquier ferretería, any of them. You can even hit up like a Walmart, Home Depot, or whatever. They're gonna sell little burners. A veces es de uno o de dos nada más, y son eléctricos, so you can just hook it up to the light. And yeah, I mean, you can use that until you're able to get like a regular stove, because those are inexpensive. I think at the most you're gonna pay like 300 pesos. But I mean, you're not gonna have to worry about like getting un tanquecito de gas. I mean, if you just got here and you're all solitos, si estás solita y acabas de llegar, te acaban de deportar, ve cómprate una de esas parritas chiquitas para que ahorita no gastes en tanque y no gastes en pues mucho menos en una estufa, ¿verdad? We're talking about just like really, really, really saving money and just trying to, you know, trying to just survive until you're able to get, you know, a little your first or second paycheck. Do that. Get you something small. I've had to do that before. I'm telling you guys, I've done that before. So anyway, so those are just some of the prices that I can mention on the cost of living here. As far as furniture, there's a lot of stores, por ejemplo, Coppel, FAMSA. There's just different stores que dan como créditos también de muebles. And you just go in there and ask them like, hey, you know, if you want to buy like a bedroom set, or if you want to buy like a dining room set or something. Just go in there and be like, hey, what do I need so I can apply for the credit that the store gives. People here usually don't have money to just buy furniture in cash, so they go to these places and they apply for these credits at the stores, where they pay a little bit of money, like a week or a month. Of course, in the long run, they would have paid like twice as much for what that item is worth if you would have paid in cash. But still, like, no se siente tanto si lo pagan a la larga, because there's small little payments. If you can buy cash, I would do it, because then that's another bill you're not gonna have to worry about, because now you're gonna have luz, agua, esto, el otro, y aparte, ¿verdad? Estar pagando esto. Pero si no tienes cash, pues cómpralo y así, ¿verdad? Y llévatelo así, pagando de poquito en poquito cada semana o cada 2 semanas, para que te puedas hacer tus cosas, because if not, well, I mean, pues no vamos a tener nada, ¿verdad? Now, something else that you have to expect is the furniture down here does have a different quality. It does. It's cheaper, but it does have a different quality. Again, depending on where you live. Hay mueblerías muy buenas, ¿verdad? Donde venden muebles muy buenos también. Pero si estamos hablando de, pues, de tu average store, you know, furniture store that gives these credits that I'm telling you about, then yeah, you know, they're gonna be a little different. Tienes que checar, porque a veces, por ejemplo, los comedores no son de madera, son de acerrín prensado. The same with the kitchen cabinets. They're not always real wood. They're like acerrín. Entonces tienes que checarlo, because one time we paid 10,000 pesos for this cocinita integral que era de acerrín, and it looked really nice and everything, but it didn't last us at all. And when we got that's when we used to rent another house. When we got this house, I was like, no, I'd rather pay more I had them custom made. I had my kitchen custom made, because I wasn't gonna go buy another, you know, otros gabinetes de cocina sabiendo que se me iban a echar a perder. Pues mejor pago, de pagarles 10,000 pesos allá, pues mejor pago 10,000 pesos aquí, y va a ser una cocina que me va a durar mucho más tiempo, ¿verdad? Entonces, you're gonna see what it's worth investing in, and then what's not. They have some really, really good carpinteros, albañiles, and just ask around. Don't look, when you get here, don't spend all your money at once until you see if you can, you know, save a little money and ask different places. Sometimes just go on them Facebook groups and go on Marketplace. Sometimes you'll find some really good used stuff. There's people, especially if you live in a border town, people here, most of us have American furniture, because we bring it all across from the other side, and it is cheaper sometimes. We mostly do it because of that, because it's cheaper. But I mean, you can get it wherever. I mean, I would say half of the stuff that I have, I got here. Like the kitchen appliances, and stuff like that. Yeah, I got them here, and some of them sí las pagamos a crédito. Otras cosas las compramos de efectivo, because man, I don't like having all them bills piled up. Like, if I can just have less bills on my plate, I'm gonna do that, but that's just me. So yes, you guys, so these are just some of the things that you can expect. The homes are built different. Get ready to, you know, to warm up or cool down, depending on where you live. Consider closet space, because some places will have it, some places won't. Your kitchen appliances as well, that's something that you have to consider and really look into before you get here. What else? Oh yeah, something that I didn't mention, when you buy a house, a lot of these casas de Infonavit don't have like, por ejemplo, las bardas de atrás de la casa, patio outside is not gonna be concrete. It's just gonna be dirt, or some of them come with like grass, but I think very few homes that they still you have like grass and stuff, but that's something else that you're gonna have to like look into. So if you buy a home, your backyard is probably not gonna have the barda all the way up, so you're gonna have to invest en levantarle la barda para que pues los vecinos no te vean, ¿verdad? Y también ponerle piso atrás y adelante si es que no trae. Hay algunas casas que con el driveway, ya trae el driveway, ya viene completo de concrete y hay otras que no. Entonces sí puede ser un problema porque después pues sí, son cosas a considerar que sí vas a gastar. Voy a buscarles fotos a ver si se las puedo poner aquí para que se den una idea más o menos de cómo vienen las casas y para que te puedas preparar porque sí es un gasto. You don't have to do it all at once, but when you move in, it's some stuff that you're gonna have to consider. Okay, so I hope that I didn't confuse you guys and I made myself clear. I don't know it all. These are just, some of the things that as I know them. But anyways, you guys, so I just wanted to say thank you for everyone that's been watching my videos. I'm really new at this. I usually never say stuff like subscribe and follow and all that because I feel like if that's what you want to do, you're gonna do it anyways, whether I tell you or not. But I just want to say thank you. I'm happy that there's a community out here that supports each other and that we're willing to stick together in terms of starting over and stuff again here. And I just want to encourage you guys. I know that it's around the holidays and ya pasó Navidad. Ahorita pues sigue el año nuevo y es la última semana del año, pero les deseo a todos el mejor año 2021, que Dios les abra puertas, los bendiga, los llene de gracia y de virtud, and that good things await us this following year. Hopefully I can keep doing videos, and I don't know it all, but I try to just share what I know. And I just want to thank you guys for watching, and I hope that I continue to have the courage to make these videos. But if it's just one person that I can help out there, and that you not feel so lonely, then we're here and we're gonna stick together and we're gonna write it out. So just, I guess, leave a comment if there's anything that you're interested in knowing. I don't know it all, like I said, but I try to just give my 2 cents. I did have one coming on how I homeschool in Mexico, and I just put together my whole curriculum for next year for my son. I homeschool my youngest. I have 2 kids. My oldest is already in high school in the States. But this little one, I homeschool, and we're, doing a complete Mexican and American curriculum, just depending on what I see that, que va necesitando. Pero voy a estar hablando de eso después. Y cómo son las escuelas aquí, porque doy homeschool y cómo puedes hacer homeschool en México, porque mucha gente ni siquiera sabe que es posible, ¿verdad? Pero bueno, pues Dios les bendiga. Gracias por ver mis videos. Cuídense mucho y ahí estamos hasta la próxima. Bye.